Distorted Realities. Here are your hosts, Jay Rock and Frank Walls. Remember, discuss the unknown and discover your truth.
All right, folks, welcome to Distorted Realities. This is Jay Rock, and I'm here with Frank the Tank Walls.
What up, guys?
And today we have two amazing guests.
Oh, yeah.
They are a duo, an amazing duo. We
Dynamic
have
duo.
one by the name of Sarah, the other one by the name of Colleen, and they are the Women of Unearthly, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
So this episode is super special, right? Because we went and we ventured off together to Suwannee, right? So
It was a lot of fun.
so let's give a little background for the folks that are watching. Who are the Women of Unearthly?
Go ahead, Sarah.
We are two gifted women with psychic abilities. Mine, I'm an empath. I can feel spirits and their intentions. And Colleen,
I'm a closet psychic. I don't go around telling people, but I guess it's all coming out. We've both had abilities. We met working at a doctor's office, and
Nice.
we were both like, bam, hey.
it's like we knew each other, but we didn't know each other.
And I was like, do you like paranormal? And you're like, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it happened. And we just instant friends from there.
Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So before we begin, I want to do some quick announcements. So first, to all the YouTube viewers, a big thank you. We reached a new plateau. We reached the 700 mark on our viewership. So get ready for an AI video thanking you lots. To our TikTok users that watch us, we bounced up from 150 to 331 followers. And this was due to the demons video. Yeah. Sorry, I'm being notified by one of my execs that there's some choppiness on Instagram. And that's fine because we'll have this recorded and we could always resubmit.
Gotcha.
All right. So so one of our videos, the Return of the Demons video caught fire and it did 4,000 views literally overnight. And then
I liked your Krampus.
you liked my Krampus?
Right, right,
I
right.
loved it. It was great. Our Mars Base Z Part 3 got 6,621 views.
Wow.
That's good. That's
And that was a big achievement because, in this community, you really got to push this stuff consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But my strive was to make it better each time. I wasn't too focused on the numbers, but I could see that the support base is there. They're following through. They're loving the adventures that we're having. So big thank you, lots of love, and continued support. We appreciate you. I'm gonna turn this now to Frank so he can, do your
Telemundo?
magic. Yeah, Telemundo.
Bueno, mi gente, estamos aquí con las muchachas de Unearthly, Sarah and Colleen. Hi, there you go. And today vamos a estar hablando de el Suwannee River Experience, la experiencia del Suwannee River, donde estuvimos con estas dos muchachas, las cuales son muy, muy gifted, como se dice. Y estamos aquí para el show, para que lo disfruten el día de hoy. Y gracias por el apoyo, los videos de TikTok están subiendo, así que muchas gracias por el apoyo.
All right, so if you are a fan of Distorted Realities and you want to share your story, shoot us an email at contact@thedistortedrealities.com. Again, contact@thedistortedrealities.com. Also, if you're interested in our products, you can go to https://distorted-realities-shop.printify.me. I'm only going to say that once. It's on the link on the YouTube channel. And lastly, the phone lines are open, 904-803-7327. If you want to speak up on any of the experiences that we're sharing, or if you have a question for Colleen and Sarah, feel free to call in. All right. So with that being said, and that's out of the woodworks, Suwannee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And real fast, for our viewers, if you don't see the phone number, you probably don't see the phone number. It's 1-904-803-7327.
Thank you.
There you go.
Also, do you have a number that they can call in from?
Yes, it's 407.
You don't have it? It's
Oh,
fine
yeah.
if you don't have it.
Oh, it's
43.
407-216-4343.
Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
My gosh.
I didn't
Don't
look
worry.
I
at
used
the
to
card.
know it by heart.
We're live. Don't worry.
So, Bonnie, I want to really get into this. I think we should speak closer to the mic so we can get more detailed sound.
This
I don't-
won't fall on me, will it?
No, it won't.
I was
So-
telling Colleen, like with the Swanee experience, I was telling her, for me personally, it was very weird for me because it feels like I was there, but not there. And like what you guys were saying, what you saw, what I was doing, it's like it's a lapse of moments in my mind now.
So let me tell you, what an experience.
Yeah.
What an experience. You see, we come from a different place, right? We're avid horror fans. We're into the unknown, but we've never experienced the unknown
Something
in
like
the
that.
way that we've experienced it with you ladies. So that trip to I went into that trip with skepticism as to what to expect, because when you watch stuff like Ghost Adventures and Taps, right? There's a lot of stuff you could tell kind of gets manipulated and
We know.
Oh, we know.
and but this was for me a very eye-opening. I never thought I would be affected in any way, shape, or form, and I did, and I'm kind of grateful for it, right? Because now no one can sway my opinion
Right.
about it, right?
Right.
There is, and we always talk about it, there is something called spiritual warfare. You know, when you're favored by God, you're also favored by the devil, because they want you, and spirits have a play in this invisible game that they're
Absolutely.
playing, right?
Absolutely.
So for me, it was a very exciting experience. And I can't even frame it correctly when I think about it, because it was just, especially towards the end, like I was like, whoa, like why am I feeling like this? It's crazy. And we'll share the video with you guys, but what was your take on a group of guys? Because by the way, we have to give full disclosure, a group of guys who have no experience in this, working with experienced individuals who do this on the regular, right? What was your take on it?
I absolutely loved it. It was an adventure and a half. I couldn't expect any better of an outcome, honestly. I was super excited to be able to share our gifts and for them to also feel the experience as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
So,
Same here.
so Colleen,
Yes.
it's funny because you said gifts, and I agree 100%, but a lot of people perceive this differently, right?
Mhm.
How do you tap into that gift?
Just focus. Focus. Put your ego aside. Put everything aside, actually. Just focus on what you're trying to get across. Like, feel it. Feel. Take that emotion of your thoughts. Just feel.
Okay. That's a good way of now to the person who's unexperienced, right? Because there's a lot of people who do this stuff and they don't know what they're messing with, right?
Well,
I think first of all, I highly advise that you do not do anything on your own without a seasoned expert, and that you make your intentions very clear when you do this, because you don't want to invoke something that can be catastrophic in your life.
that's right.
I think that a lot of the times you see a lot of young people messing with things they shouldn't dabble with. What's your message to them? Because there is a gift, right? There's a gift component. Yeah, we're all believers in a higher being, irrespective of your religion or practice. But I'm pretty sure that when you get these kind of things, these are gifted to you by the person
Mhm.
who's you believe in.
Spirits in general, I mean, we have good and we have bad. We have here, we have evil. Spirits that will come to you and you can feel. I mean, if you have any type of feeling, like you could read people in public and you could tell they're a good person and a bad person, you can feel people's emotions, energy. Okay. If you put out your energy and you get that same energy back, that's a connection.
That's what we felt with you both.
Oh, thank you.
So let's go, but let's go there, right? Because we did do a podcast with the Women of Unearthly, and we had a session, and is it live yet or not yet? Not yet. Okay, so we still doing the audio edits.
I'm splitting two, splitting the investigation and spirit talk. video.
Gotcha.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we did do a podcast.
'Cause there's
And-
a lot on the bridge I want to focus on as well.
So
Can I give the message to the young
Yeah.
people?
yeah.
Please be careful of what you do tap into, because you might not know what you're messing with. There's a lot of tricksters, and then there's a lot of tricksters on the plane, on the astral plane. Please be careful. Can't caution that enough to the young of what they're trying to do. And just please be careful. Have somebody that knows what they're doing, because you can get somewhere and not come out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That and that's it sends chills down my spine just thinking
Mhm.
about it,
Yeah.
because when you're a kid,
true.
you mess with things, right? It's the curiosity, the innocent piece of the
Yep.
kids that they don't get it, or they think that they're gonna get something amazing out of it, and
Right.
lo and behold, it's something far much worse.
Use that energy for some positive stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And don't be playing with cards or Ouija boards if you don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Ouija boards are bad, right?
Yeah, they're like I said, they're direct portal to
Tricksters.
the no.
So we go to Suwannee, but before we go to Suwannee, we meet the Women of Unearthly in Casadega, Florida. on our
Yeah,
adventures.
The
Oddly
psychic
enough,
capital of the world.
Yeah, the psychic capital of the world. Now we were just two guys shooting a piece of footage, and basically, I believe it was Colleen that approached Frank and said, "Hey, like, do you know where George P. Colby's tombstone is?" We didn't have a clue.
That was your first time in Casadega? That was,
No,
uh,
No.
First time looking for George P. Colby's
Okay.
burial ground.
Gotcha.
And he's the one that started Casadega.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're doing something up there. Right, Sarah?
Mhm.
They look like they're filming, and they might know something. Chance and hey, y'all know where George P. Colby is buried.
So yeah, so that was the start of it all. So we spoke very briefly about what we were doing, but we never anticipated anything until I got this little card, and by the way, the card is sitting on the back of my my collection of things, right? My encounters and ventures and gifts from people. And I keep it there because it's a reminder, like sometimes you're put in a position where you're supposed to meet that person, and we call it fate. Other people have a different name for it.
Yeah.
I guess it was destined for us to do something together, because when we were all through Casadega, we kept running into them for no
Yeah.
reason, right?
Literally,
So,
it's true.
What are the odds to
We
meet
did an
somebody
in-
in the cemetery, right?
Yeah, we did the interview and came down, and there you guys were again.
Crisscrossing again.
so the funny part is that I was telling Frank was like, well, we should talk to them and do something. I was like, are you crazy? Like, how do we look as guys just approaching these women in the cemetery? Like, it's not a good look, right?
No,
but
we would be like, peace out, weird.
yeah. But as it turned out to be a great experience for both of us at Casadega. Great viewing for both
Oh,
of
yeah.
us,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You both have really great energy.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Yes,
much.
yes, you do.
Appreciate
you.
it.
So-
You guys too.
So in my case, it was more of all right, so what are we gonna do? And then I think it was you, Colleen, that said, hey, we're gonna go to Suwannee, and you guys want to do a collab? And I was like, oh, absolutely, like we'll do. So our communications were on and off until we had a confirmed date, and we went there guns blazing. We brought every tool in the kit, not even knowing how to use most of it, so we had to learn on the fly. So we're coming in with no experience, but we sought out experience individuals, and the experience was remarkable.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. I
so-
thought so too.
Yeah.
So what do we know about Suwannee? Right. So yeah, Suwannee. Well, first things first, Suwannee is highly indigenous. It was run by the Seminole Indians, right? In the early 1800s, there was the Europeans came in, and then later on we had the Civil War, and the Indians kind of suffered and paid a big toll in there with the Europeans taking over for a brief period of time. Excuse me. Then there is the era of slavery in which that was part of the South was part of the slave trade market. And that bridge was built transport not just goods and services, but to transport slaves as well.
Oh, yeah.
So a remarkable place, though, right? You look at it, and then you look at it in all its majesty, right? Because it's such a beautiful place,
It is.
right?
It's a time capsule.
And you could have said it better.
Yeah.
Like you could see the bridge is the representation of the current era,
Take away the graffiti and look at the bridge.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Take away all the colors.
It's the current era, and then you have the bathhouse slightly behind it, the new bridge that was constructed right in front of the old bridge, and this beautiful river that kind of tells you, hey, this is your timeline. Like you can see this ancient bathhouse in front of all this, and it's almost like traveling through time, right? It was a beautiful looking place, but in and of itself, the beauty, you can feel an energy, you can feel a weightiness to it, and I was just blown away. I mean, just talking about it, I was like, wow, like you can feel that.
I knew you guys would like it.
Yeah.
I had a feeling because I even said you can maybe do your videoing in some of those abandoned buildings or something. You know,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, it was good. It was. I mean, I don't know how to like really just traveling in those other trails that we didn't even know existed afterwards, right? To do the shots, I thought it was great. Your thoughts on Suwannee itself?
Funny to me, I mean, as of all of Florida being native, I really enjoyed the richness of the energy that was there. You definitely got different feelings of the Seminoles in different areas of the park. Definitely at the bathhouses, especially in that water, the vortex that was there. Then on the bridge, remember when we first went on when the sun was setting down? I was like, "There's something right here." I was right in the middle. They're like, "Yeah, this is a highway." I'm like, "No, this highway."
Right,
The river was speaking, and I'm like, "Yeah, I could feel them fishing. I could feel them rowing. I feel the activity with there."
Wow.
that was amazing.
So,
Yeah.
Colleen, your abilities are slightly different.
Yeah.
I remember going to the end of the bridge, and you really ultimately cemented like my belief, because as I'm walking, I'm telling my son. By the way, Mr. Valentine was there. He's my son. He was doing the camera work.
Yeah, where is he?
He's at
Amazing
he's at
work.
MegaCon.
course.
You know, so I'm telling him, you need to walk with me because I'm gonna talk. So I'm talking about how I'm feeling, and I'm getting away from your spirit box session. Next thing you know, I'm like, Colleen, she's all the way at the end, at the other side of the bridge. Now, there's the side you enter from, and there's the side that looks like it leads to nowhere at night. So she's all the way at the end. And all I see is this little flashlight. So like, let me go make sure Colleen's all right. And I'm walking, but I'm like, I don't want to walk to that side because I had this weird, I don't know, like just drained feeling.
You look at
Right?
different now.
And as I'm walking by, Colleen is walking towards me, and I'm like, hey, listen, they're having a spirit box session there. I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm just gonna walk over there and tell my son how I feel. So I asked Colleen, how do you feel? And she goes, oh, it's heavy. Like if she already knew what was going on. So she's like, it's kind of heavy over there, but don't worry, because I was battling it out with someone over there.
It was.
And I was like, whoa, like I just knew that there was something wrong with me. But and it's funny because it's at the halfway point of the bridge. That's where I just started sinking.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the session, you guys had to continue your session. I stood away from the bridge for a while.
I'm going to tell you what was stopping you guys from the bridge. You ready?
Sure.
It's your spirit team and my spirit team. There was something very ugly at the bridge. And when I walked and escorted it, he cackled, he laughed, all that, you know, basically a little battle. And what was telling you guys to stop was your spirit team, my spirit team, handling this. There was something very ugly. He's very tall. I have something on the fridge. There's eyes. I saw it. There's eyes. I'll have to show you.
I never went there.
Yeah,
stay.
I know you didn't.
Yeah.
I know. It was your spirit team telling you, no, you don't need to.
I went, but as soon as I went, I explained what I felt. And I told my son, I'm not feeling good. I'm
Can I-
walking back.
Can I
And-
also tell you about that as well?
Yeah.
You were having problems with your legs.
Yeah.
I was walking somebody with pain.
Look at that. Look at that. But it was something unearthly. That took place.
I just got chills.
So, but with that being said, I think we should take a pause, watch the first segment of the video so that the people can understand what's going on. The very beginning of the feature, it's gonna be a lot of talking, a lot of just going through, entering Suwannee, meeting with the Women of Unearthly, meeting a gentleman that was very kind enough to give us some way and some information. And then we're gonna go into the first part of the investigation where things really just shot off real quick.
Yeah.
So let's go there, and we're gonna put ourselves on mute, play the video. Just remember, we're gonna stop it at a certain point, and then we'll continue with the second and final parts. All right. Hey guys, this is J Rock here with Frank Walls, and today we're going to do our investigation with none other than the Women of Unearthly, Colleen and Sarah. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Suwannee River Paranormal Investigation. J Rock and Frank Walls are driving to make their way to meet with the Women of Unearthly, Sarah and Colleen. But before we begin, let me provide a brief historical explanation of Suwannee. The Suwannee River, home to the Seminole Indian, is a river that stretches down from Georgia and goes down to the Gulf Coast in Florida. This river was once inhabited by the Seminole Indians. It became a pivotal location during U.S. Civil War, with the Battle of Olustee, fought near the junction of the Suwannee and Withlacoochee rivers. Its springs at one point were highly regarded as one of the places to visit due to the nature of its healing properties, also considered by some as the fountain of youth. A bridge known today as the Graffiti Bridge still stands, and a reminder for those who travel to the south. Suwannee is filled with mysteries and tales of ghostly apparitions of natives and otherworldly beings. Both the Distorted Realities team and the Women of Unearthly met with Charles Cornett, who is one of the owners of the older sites. Charles was kind enough to allow us to record the footage of the location, as well as provided us with insight with respects to the town's history, information about the location, and provided guidance on how to get to various locations throughout the Suwannee River. Charles was a class act, a true gentleman and well-versed in Suwannee history.
You could just feel it. You just feel it running through.
What did it feel like?
Energy.
Almost like wind,
Yep.
but like in the old carnival where they had the thing to blow the ladies'
Gavatron. Gavatron. It's my favorite ride.
Goosebumps. Felt it racing up and down.
Wow.
And that evening, somebody had built what you call it, like a dome over it, but out of vines. And they had built a shrine of different colored stones and all this.
Interesting.
Nobody knew who did it.
Very interesting.
But
Oh, that's interesting.
But you walked into that room and you felt it. It's a pretty amazing thing. What's your channel called? He has spent, when the meeting, you won't believe it, but he's kind of incredibly crippled up. And when I saw him, I was saying, oh, let me help you. And he said, oh no, I do it. It turns out he hikes hundreds and hundreds of miles every year. And,
For him. That's
with
awesome.
this giant walking stick.
That's awesome.
He documents Native American sign.
Okay.
So down the street, if you notice the trees on my side of the road down there, they've got the zigzag.
That's what I was telling her.
Yeah.
That's where the medicine man and the
Yeah.
elders would sit and tell stories.
Well, they're marking trails. And of course, this was a major river crossing, so it was logical to have been one here. But he's got hundreds of them in a database. of where those are. If you look on the west side of my house, there's a concrete, east side actually, concrete 4-foot square, and that we think was an anchor for a cable that went from this side.
That's what I'm, yeah.
Okay, you can walk that way probably, I don't know, 300 yards, 400 yards. Or you can drive home. You see down here from the left. But these two buildings are original.
Character in a book, right?
He's got an antique wall like park.
The team now makes their way into the wooded
If there's
area
spirits here
as
today with
Sarah,
us,
with her abilities
feel
as a
free. My
medium,
name is Sarah.
felt that an
This is
audio
Colleen
session was in
for the
order.
Women of Unearthly.
Needless to
We're
say,
also with
J-Rock was
and Frank
affected.
Wallace
His
of Distorted
microphone stopped
Realities.
working as he is
We mean
attempting
no
to
harm.
explain that his
If
body
you'd like
was
to
weakened
communicate, the
and felt a
mic is
jolt
open.
of electricity coursing down his spine along with increased body heat. Bear in mind it was 32 degrees that day, one of the coldest days in Florida.
Yeah, unlike a ritual. I feel, yes, they're dancing. They're dancing. A bonfire, they're going around it and they're dancing right around here. Spirits, you may come to the mic. My name is Sarah. You can come to the phone and speak. Uh-huh. That's energy. That's true.
Does it feel like a headache? Just very light. And that's why I'm asking the question. And also, you can feel huge column of the energy. I don't know how to describe it, but it almost feels like a tingling sensation. Is that normal?
Yes, that is changes of energy where you go. You can feel like the prickliness in the back of your neck, or you feel that it's like a circuit through the body.
That's a better description. That's exactly what it feels like. It's like a jolt.
Mm-hmm.
A light jolt. Yeah, this feels awkward.
Right here. Spirit box.
Or the spirit box, if you can activate those.
The team now starts a spirit box session. Note that there were instances in which voices can be heard, but what was said could not be deciphered. Perhaps what J-Rock was experiencing could have been caused by these spirit entities.
FM or AM? First week. Oh, you recording? Microphone's on? Hey?
Yep.
Whoa.
Spirits, we're here. My name is Sarah. This is Colleen, J-Rock, and Frank Wallace. The Story Realities. We're here to communicate with you. We mean no harm. If you'd like to speak to us, come to the mic and say your name.
Is anyone here with us? Hello.
We vaguely hear you. Can you please speak into the mic?
Use your energy.
Yeah.
It's a frequency from the radio.
Get them.
Get who?
Get who?
Is that all the way up?
Maximum volume.
Okay.
What was that?
It's strange. We're kind of getting blurbs.
Why are you here? Can you speak up?
Use your energy. Come on through.
Churches. What churches?
Nice. Exactly.
Come on through. You can speak with us. Use your energy.
Brace yourselves.
No profanity, please.
What about where those bricks are? You can move there.
I can tell you right now.
It's on that side.
Connect with them. They kind of cling to you. They will drain battery like that. My phone has done that plenty of times in my pocket.
So I guess I'm here to just testify about my experience. Never had experienced this before. I had a sense of what we would call like a jolt of energy shoot right from the nape of my neck down, which led to some lightheadedness. I don't know if it's discomfort or a sense of eeriness, and even kind of feel that my nose is heightened. Like my sense of smell feels a lot stronger than usual. I don't know, is that a common?
Yes. Wherever you go, you'll feel different fields of energy. Now, where there's a lot of spirits, that concentrated energy, you'll feel that jolt out of nowhere. A lot of people explain getting lightheadedness or headache with it. If spirit is intensifying and trying to pull energy from you to be able to communicate, you'll get that pringliness through the neck, sometimes down. Feel like kind of like getting shocked a little bit like that. But yes, here, definitely right here in the middle. That's where you felt it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a first for J-Rock, the Story Realities. And I'm assuming it's your first time seeing someone else outside of yourself getting these sensations.
Yes.
So this kind of affirms that, for me at the very least, that these things are very real and very odd. But yeah, we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to do some FLIR images to see if we catch any heat signature. All right.
After J-Rock provides his findings with Sarah, the team proceeds to use FLIR technology to measure heat signatures that can be used to verify if there are any anomalies. Although there were no significant evidence, there were some visual anomalies with stronger heat signatures on various trees in areas where Sarah and Colleen indicated a strong energy was present.
So I was gonna ask you about, because of course you know more about the spirit realm than we know. We don't know nothing compared. We just talk about it. We found research on the internet, whatever. But you guys feel everything. You encounter stuff, the real deal. What can you tell me about like marine spirits or water spirits? Like, 'cause I heard some stuff about it. I don't know. Oh,
I don't really encounter a lot of water spirits.
Gotcha.
They are more they're not very
They travel through the water.
Yeah.
okay.
Absolutely, because the water is the energy flow.
Yeah.
So like again, like I said, in here tours
Oh,
you're native, you can definitely tell territory-wise
Mm-hmm.
who had what side.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And you were telling me that since you were a little kid, you were having this gift, right?
Since I was a little girl, I've always been empathic, of getting feelings and walking through and feeling presence of spirits, what kind of spirits, their intentions of spirits.
Same here too.
As well. Like,
Hmm.
When I was younger, I would be able to see, and I was very scared of it, so I had prayed for my third eye to be closed.
Gotcha.
And then I met Colleen, who I don't know, like in the episode you heard how we found each other.
Yep. Yep.
It was just like fate. Like I knew her,
I
she
said,
knew
"Hey,
me, but we didn't know
you into
each
the
other yet."
paranormal?" First thing I said to her, it was weird. It was like, she's into the paranormal. I already know this. I already know.
Wow.
Some people wear it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's immediately what I picked up with her.
And I looked at her and I was like, "You can help me reopen this."
You can help me. Yeah.
But I mean, you're the communicator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can channel.
You
Definitely.
as well. Like when you find out.
Oh,
like,
absolutely. Since
when-
I was a little girl,
Okay.
I would have conversations. Who are you talking to? That man?
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I could channel. And then I get the vision. And then I get them come out of the darkness. Or I would see a flicker over here. Almost like I would see like saran wrap too. Like they're covered in mirror. Okay. Yes, there you go. Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting.
Hmm.
And
I would definitely hear them. I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant. I'm all the clairs. So I don't like telling people like you're psychic. I don't really call myself psychic
Mhm.
medium or anything like that. Kind of like a closet psychic. So
But you do have the gift, and we
yeah,
already know.
yeah,
And God bless you for that. You know.
yeah. No, thank
Yeah.
you. Sometimes it's not a blessing. Sometimes it can be a
Sometimes it's
curse.
not.
Yeah.
You
Spirit
know,
will find you sometimes.
Okay.
You could be at work and they will, hello, I need you.
right?
They
Or
have done that. I've been at
Cool.
work and one of my coworkers, daughter's best friend passed away in a really tragic car accident. And like right before I found out about that, I was like, why is there a redheaded kid sitting next to her at my desk? Who is this?
right.
They were very close. They
Wow.
were, son and mom kind of relationship. And she came in and I was like, so who's Charlie? And she just broke down crying. His best friend, he's like, his son didn't pass away this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Or you channel your sister that passed on and you missed the exit twice
Yeah, she came in.
on the highway.
She was messing with
And I said,
driving.
your mother lost a baby girl, didn't she? And she said, yes. I said, you have an older sister with you.
I was like,
That's
so
what was going on the highway when we were coming.
recently I've been feeling the spirit coming on around me. Some spirits that feel close to you stay with you. Kind of like a companion, sometimes even a guide.
Yeah.
This spirit I have my moments with, things getting down recently and things I'm trying to get over and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I've felt a hand on my shoulder. When I'm down, I feel somebody going like this, picking me back up.
Gotcha.
She said, that's me.
And then she's like,
She's right here.
she's always right there.
She's a little taller than you. She's beautiful.
I saw when I was younger, I had a very freak accident. I got hit by a car. I was on my bike and got hit by a car, and I remember this to this day. I saw this woman with bright blue eyes, long black wavy hair, blinding light behind her.
Wow.
I thought that was my guardian angel. I told her, and she's like, no, she's got red, long, wavy hair.
Strawberry blonde. Yeah.
She's your sister or someone that I'm related to, and she's
No,
always
she's your sister.
sister.
And I said, did your mom lose a baby girl? And you said, yes. Well, she's grown on the other side and she's been with you.
And I found out her name today. She's Esma.
I never
Wow.
knew her mother. I never knew her mother, but her mother's with her as well. And my mother as well. Yeah.
So what don't you go to the camera and give him the good old Telemundo treatment?
Oh boy, I'm so nervous.
Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Frank Wall de aquí de History Realities. Estamos en Suani, acá. Es un área conocida por mucha energía espiritual y nos encontramos con Sara y Kylie, que son una muchacha que es vidente y mentalista, las cuales están con nosotros compartiendo y pues chequeando el área y se siente mucha energía espiritual en el área. Y estamos haciendo reportajes para todos ustedes, para el gusto de ustedes. Así que espero que les agrade. Vamos a estar tirando muchas fotos y compartiendo mucho sobre lo que se siente y se ve en esta área aquí. Muchas gracias.
All right, folks. So that's the first part of the video. Go to your comments. Let's see what we have on YouTube for the comments.
We got where are we? There's Julio. That's crazy. I need to see that. That is going great. Thoughts. Corali says, I know that spirits or entities can take energy from people and from your devices.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
They
So
can-
how frequently, I guess the next question would be, how frequently does that happen to you?
All the
All the
time.
investigation.
All the
Like
time.
every time.
Every investigation, we bring extra battery packs, and I mean, it goes from the last one we were on, right? 100 dropped down to 20, going to another one, dropped down to 100. No, 20. It was ridiculous.
Gotcha. So Julio says they can really mess with audio.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Julio.
Absolutely.
Yes, you guys are brave for doing this. Daniel Arroyo, hi to Daniel Arroyo.
Hey, Danny.
Julio Reyes, I got goosebumps hearing these stories.
All right. Thank you. So, first part of the video. We drive up, we meet up, and then we meet the gentleman, Cornette, Mr. Cornette.
Mhm. Thank
Well,
you, by the way.
Yes, thank you to Mr.
Absolutely.
Cornett.
Yeah, shout out.
You were awesome, very informative. Really.
Yes.
He should be the guide tour there.
Mhm.
Like a
Yeah.
So we spoke to Mr. Cornett. He shared some insight on what was going on. He's really keen on preserving Suwannee, right? Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of ancient locations. We call it ancient because it's built on old form. We're in the what century? 21st. Right?
well,
So-
2022,
Yes, the
right?
21st.
So we're in the 21st century right now, right? And these things they're already predating the 21st century, and it's a sign of different workmanship, different type of masonry and set of skills that leaves a person to see it in awe and beauty as we caught it, right? Because that's the first thing when we drove off. We got off the car, and the first thing we did was smack at that house that Mr. Cornett just so happens to own. And he was kind enough to let us record because this is his property. He could have told us to.
Yeah, I went right up and knocked on
Right,
the door
right.
because I didn't know which house to knock on. You know?
Right. So,
There's no trespassing.
yeah, it had
Yeah.
no trespassing sign. You
His-
couldn't go in the building.
Yeah, his wife was like, "Don't go in there. There's snakes and something could fall on you." Like the building was not in good shape. I would
No.
love to see it restored.
Like one brick and the whole thing would crumble.
oh my god, I
Mhm.
would love to see it restored.
So there's a lot of people there in Suwannee, right, that really embrace the historical pieces of it. What was your take, Colleen, on when you saw that building for the first time? You was like, oh, and you just gravitated with Sarah right away.
I
and just
did. I
ran
got
over.
called to it. That's why I was like, "Sarah, look at that old building. Let's go stand there and take some pictures. Some creepy pictures, whatever." But it was definitely historic. Like, look at the archway. Look at the whole. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was like, that house or that house owns this. They have to. It's in front of their houses.
Right,
So that's when I knocked on the dude.
Mr. Cornett.
Yes. I was gonna say dude. He's not a dude. I'm sorry, sir. And his wife was, "Don't go in there. Just girls, you could please don't go in." Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll respect her wishes. Absolutely. So we never try to go on people's property or any kind of disrespect. We will knock on your door and ask first, get the
Right.
permission, because I don't want her going to jail, me going to jail. This face does not look good behind these bars. And it's just out of respect. And when it's good karma as well. 'Cause
So
they're listening and watching on the other side as well.
So there you go. Rule number 1 is do not mess with things you're not aware of. Rule number 2, ask for permission wherever you go. And there's 2 types of permission. The one from the actual physical owner and the one from the entity that may or may not reside in that area.
You got it.
And
So-
never take anything from the area.
Oh, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So what was your take
Yeah,
on
Frank.
seeing that?
I got drawn to it because honestly, I got the feeling of fire, like an oven, like combustion from the inside out.
That's what I got right
So
away.
I was like, okay, I'm an analytical person. There's no roof. Why are the 4 studs still standing? But it feels like imploding from inside out, right? And then Mr. Cornett came out and told us about what happened at that location, which just rectified what we felt.
Do you believe it came from inside, Sarah? Or do you believe somebody set fire to it?
I believe it was set inside, but it was definitely set. I do feel people were trapped in it as well and did die in there.
Wow.
So here's another deep dive from
Mm-hmm.
J Rock and some more info. So that place was actually going to be built as a sanatorium. Whole area was supposed to be, and I was just going through the notes because remember I sent you the stuff about the Seminole. I started digging even further, but the spring was the selling point for curative properties, but the idea was that they were going to build a sanatorium that was all encompassing for those who had mental issues or any issues. You would
Oh,
get
wow.
treated there.
Wow, that would be a whole set of different.
So actually,
Energy.
there's pictures online of what the blueprint of the design of it was going to be, and then you can take your sickly person to the Suwannee bathhouses and indulge in the curative properties of the bathhouses. Right?
Sarah's face.
So it was a little bit weird, but it didn't fly. It didn't fly, and there was some legal issues, and there was some like oh, you don't want to do this? Well, I'm going to do this. And that's where you're getting the whole,
Yeah.
it was set up, right? Because there were instances in that period of time where people, when they wanted a property, they would force, it's what happens in most cases when you're a big shot. Hey, I want to buy your property, double or nothing. You say, no, this, this has a family,
Sentimental value.
right? I'm not parting with it. Okay, no problem. Guess what? You step out of your house one day and it's caught on fire. How about now? You want to sell it? We'll sell it to you at the same book value you bought it for.
I'll give you half the ashes.
So yeah. So to your point, there was a lot of that going on in Suwannee because they were trying to build it around the river and the whole idea of the bathhouses having that fountain of youth mystique to it. So so you're absolutely right. Ladies, any questions, comments?
No.
Okay, so this
That's
is where
interesting. Very
yeah.
cool.
And it gets crazier because there's also not specifically where we were at, but several miles up, there were some slave related incidents that resulted in unalivings there. Not necessarily on that spot, but further back after the bridge, the trail that leads to the other half.
On the way to Georgia.
Yeah, on the way up north. So
no wonder the energy. Right?
So we spoke to Mr. Cornett. We saw this place, and then we go through the trail that he tells us to do. There was 2 old abandoned houses that were preserved, I guess, for posterity, with the warning sign: you cannot go in. These are old wooden houses that were built out. The purpose for it, we don't know. However, we go into that trail, and Sarah just says left, and whoop, and we all just follow her.
Yeah.
Colleen seemed like she already knew what was going on. I was, to be quite frank, lost in the sauce, so to speak. And I said, you know what, just follow her. So in the video, you see me dropping my bag in the microphone and saying here, and I'm just following Sarah.
Like, I'll follow her.
Right?
I'm like, hey.
Right. So there's like this little opening on the left of that trail that looks like an enclosed circle space where could have been ritualistic or a place where people go out and do stuff and hang out in today's time, but maybe back then it wasn't, right? And you said I could smell stuff burning. And then I go and step right in the middle and just jump. Boom. And my face changes. And I felt like I was going to fall on my knees.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling Sarah, like, hey, like, I just felt like this shot right down my spine from the nape of my neck down. And I feel weird. All of a sudden, I could smell everything. So, like, you can smell, of course, but it almost felt like my sense got heightened. Like I could smell like every single leaf that was there had a different scent. I can pick it out, right? So she's doing her investigation. Spirit box happens, right? And then thank you, Colleen. Colleen taught us how to use the spirit box. We didn't know, right? So we went and we go through it and we started hearing what appears to be voices that they were not necessarily discernible voices, but there were every now and then key words would pop out and we would catch it, right? That was just mind blowing to me, but it was more mind blowing because as I'm going through this, my mic is not working now. Now it's fully charged, it's just not working.
Was mine working?
So yours was working. You have the same microphone that I have. So I just want to show you guys real quick. So this is what we used for the microphone, right? It's called the Maono, and basically you connect this module to the iPhone, and then you clip one of these onto your lapel, or if you have like a collar, you put it on your collar, you start talking.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So it's funny that you say that yours wasn't working all of a sudden because you had children playing with you.
So there you go. So it was just weird, right? And I felt like I was all over the place. Like I'm just looking around and I'm like, okay, spirit box session, and I'm holding it, but I couldn't really focus at all. Frank was behind me and he was looking like awestruck, like, oh shit, I'm in.
Right? I was like, what the hell's going on here?
So
And Dante's eyes were like big. Have you noticed they were like big eggs, like
And being in that situation there with the children, like you've heard every time where we go, I put those boundaries down right away.
You said bonfire, and then you said right here they were playing, and I'm like, okay, I don't get it. All I know is like I could smell everything, and
Yeah.
I just felt weird.
Even
First thing I got was children. I said, I got children. And then you were like, oh yeah, all running around.
They're
And
running
I
around.
was seeing it right when you were saying it. I'm like, there's a fire in the middle. And then they were running around. And you were like, yeah, you were saying it as I was seeing it.
And it's funny because all the time you guys saying fire, 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 and I'm like, I don't see fire. You know? What are they talking about? And then Colleen came out with a license plate
Oh yeah.
that was burned. She
Happy
found it there
birthday.
in the woods. She was like kind of like, Frank, this is what I'm talking about. You know? I was like,
Obviously
wow.
on fire.
But we learned a lesson there too.
Yeah, 'cause
Because
he
he
was
said,
to
"Can we
take it."
take?" And I said, "Would you like somebody to come in your house and take things? We don't take their things.
Oh no! So
Oh,
for
yeah.
that,
Do not
so we
remove things from them."
so there was a license plate, and it looks like a vintage license plate, guys. For those of you who know, this is not on video. And for those of you watching on Instagram, basically that there was a license plate, and it looked kind of like an antique license plate. So Frank, in all his wisdom, decided to pick it up and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take this." And I said, "No, you don't take it."
It was smaller than a regular size license plate,
Yeah.
and bigger than a motorcycle license plate. So I don't know exactly what that. It was like this big.
It was kind of twisted and burned.
Yeah.
That's why it looked.
I
It was
got like a
deformed.
1950 Beetle. That's what
Yeah.
I got from it.
Interesting.
So I did a little more digging.
Go ahead.
So the Seminole Indians were actually in that area,
Wow.
like literally where we were at.
I think there were 3: Appalachie and I can't remember. Two. I'm for Appalachie.
So just so you know, and this is from historical documentation, that specific area that goes from the road that divides, there's the main road, and then there's that road, and there's a side road that takes you to the lake area where the parking lot is at. That space was ran by a chieftain in that space.
Very
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
So yeah, and we could always go, if we could do another trip, we could always go to the historical records and find out, but it is there, based on the research I did.
I would love to do that.
So I kind of dig deep into these things
Yeah.
because I was trying to, when I left out of that experience, it left me more questions than answer. Like, what could have been? Little kids, tribal chief,
But you want to get the facts straight.
right?
you know?
Yeah. You have a tribal chief, and what comes with tribal chief? Families, children. You
Medicine
said
men.
bonfire,
Yeah.
teepees. They usually have bonfires in their central area to keep the
Yeah.
place lit up at night. So it kind of like started.
They
making
definitely
sense.
were dancing.
So it was a crazy, I guess, discovery after the fact. But during that piece, it was pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty intense. So right after that, after Frank dropped the plate, we decided to have a discussion piece with both Sarah and Colleen where we explain about the discovery of their powers, or I say powers, but their abilities that they were born with innately, or acquired through some means. And they shared, gave us knowledge on what we were experiencing and what to do and how to comport ourselves when we encounter this on our own. Not that we plan on doing this on our own. We're a different type of crew. I would do it under their supervision or their guidance. However, it was a good experience on that front to see that initially happen, because then we go to the actual bathhouse. So,
Mm.
so before we continue, I want to leave the floor to you, ladies, and just share your experience up to that point.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I went right away after we left that clearing, and I was like, it's like, eye candy. Like,
I know.
oh, what is this?
I know. I was so excited.
Right. And that's when I remember, I was telling them, I had moments of clarity where I was there with everybody. I saw everything in color, and there was moments that are in my mind that everything turned purple. And I feel like when everything turned purple, that's probably what y'all saw when my face changed. Like I was on a whole nother plane. I remember climbing up the stairs because I don't know what was calling me, but it was like, come on, hurry up, get up here, look down. I honestly felt like that was an elder. That was of the tribe. That was an elder trying to explain the scenery of what, from that point of view, what this was for, what it meant. not meant as a salt bath, but meant for them personally, what it represented. They wanted the story to be portrayed for what it was. So then all of a sudden I remember just like, here we go, flip back to I'm there, and Dante's coming up like, you okay? I'm like, hey, yeah, fine, don't worry. And then Colleen comes down. She's like, Sarah, come to the water.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the water. Let's show them what we can do.
That was the next day, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so talk about the first day we got there. What you felt.
I felt there was more than one vortex there.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like there was people in there that were doing their fishing, not their fishing, but like the sorting of things.
You were
pottery.
You were
and
seeing the water.
They were having, you know how you do like at this beach, that little screen thing that you shake and you get whatever out. That's what they were doing. And it was more, it wasn't gold. It looked like more like turquoise or like certain stones they were looking for.
Colleen, floor's yours.
Well,
What was your take on that experience up to the point where whatever happened to me happened, and then we left to the discussion?
I was super excited. Oh my gosh. And it was just the whole feel of it, the layout of it, the whole, I don't know, as soon as I come around that corner, it's like something even shifted. Did you feel the shift?
I sure
y'all,
did.
I think y'all did.
Yeah.
And then when you went down the stairs, and as soon as my feet hit the ground, oh yeah. And I thought it felt very familiar to me. I've been here. I have a little bit of native. I'm Shawnee. And I said, I've been here before. Sarah was like, well, you're native in you. Like, I know, but I feel like I've seen this wall, seen this water. Stairs weren't here. And I don't know if I was like going back in time in my mind's eye, but I felt all the energy and felt very welcomed. Come see this, you know. It's just amazing. Just amazing feeling.
And say that
Welcome to Distorted Realities. Here are your hosts, Jay Rock and Frank Walls. Remember, discuss the unknown and discover the truth.
energy boost for relaxing.
And it felt
Right, like a,
we were definitely closed in.
yes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Like
Awesome.
what are you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're gonna run into the second half of the video. That second half of the video is gonna lead up to the bathhouses and then bridge. All right, so we're gonna mute ourselves and go right into it.
The team now makes their way to the remains of the bathhouse. Sarah and Colleen begin their overall assessment of the place as their perceptive abilities get triggered. J. Rock and Frank Walls observe as the Women of Unearthly get into action.
I'm getting it again.
As Sarah and Colleen are conducting an EVP session, J. Rock begins to experience changes once again in the shift in energy, and the cameraman, Mr. Valentine, is starting to experience sensations on his face and nose. J. Rock and Mr. Valentine both express their unease to the Women of Unearthly as they reaffirm that there's something looming in the air.
harm. You see the spiraling?
Oh, wow. It is.
If you'd like to communicate, the mic is open now. Ooh.
Get some piercing.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm getting like a weird tingle on my nose though.
You okay? Drum. Can you hear that drum? Literally.
I'm gonna slow it down a bit. I think the sweeper is too fast.
Who's here today? Okay.
I'm hearing words, but I just can't form them. And it's funny because I'm pointing the antenna at the water.
Water is a source of energy. This is a continuous flow, so they're gonna pull from it. That's why you feel that significance and how heavy it got right here.
Yeah. Let's walk down to the water.
Taking it off right here, getting undressed and getting it off.
Yeah, put that is cool.
Hold on.
Huh?
A spirit box session was then held, while the Women of Unearthly began performing a sort of energy channeling. As the Distorted Realities team watches in amazement, you can see in the video water vortexes are forming and then being redirected as if the Women of Unearthly are controlling the forces of nature.
Can you speak up, please?
I'm gonna do a forward sweep instead.
Are you using this water for energy? Definitely.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wait, look. Right there. It's like little vortexes.
You can see them clearly through the
Forming.
camera.
You ready?
Watch the water move.
See it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's freaky.
Another one. Yep. Spirit, is this a vortex? Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. We got it.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah.
Look at that.
Another one.
This is insane.
See it? See it?
Anything on the night vision?
Seeing it? You guys are missing it. Seeing it? Yep.
There,
More.
right there.
The camera's getting it also clearly because of the reflection. Look at that.
Right there. What she's pointing at.
Spirit, is this a natural energy? I don't think so.
So gracious.
Don't. Is this a deep spring?
Sorry.
So, if you heard our episode with the spring park, and I was talking about the grotto,
Right.
because Florida is on an aquifer and because it has so much history, the more decay comes, have you seen like rock where you see the different sediment layers?
Yeah.
Every sediment has its own energy because it comes from a different time
From a different time period.
period. Yes.
And in spite of all the spiritual stuff, it's just a thing of beauty, though, just to look at, right? It's
There's a lot of
all the history led to this, and it's still not bad to look at, right? It could be worse.
Could be worse. I like how it's kind of reserved in a way. Mankind has not come here and altered it.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with the world. We don't preserve the things that historically have impact. But this is a good segue because when you look at it, what you're seeing is the modern era, the antiquated era, and the river that goes in between it. It's a good analogy, isn't it?
As the sun sets, the team makes one final stop at the Suwannee Bridge.
Spirits, we are here tonight to communicate. We mean no harm. My name is Sarah. This is Colleen, J-Rock, Frank Wallace. We're here to communicate with you today. If you'd like to speak, the mic is open. There's, yeah. What is that? Why do I feel like... Oh. Right here. It's the middle of the river. It's a highway. It's a highway. What is this? There's something... No, but this way. Not that way. I feel this, but this is more prominent. What is this around us? What is that?
It is now sundown, and the team continues their investigation in full. J-Rock then proceeds to experience a heaviness as feelings of dread sets in as he walks across the bridge. Let us take a listen to J-Rock as he meets with Colleen and gets a confirmation.
Walking through here.
Spirit, please present yourself. Speak your name.
Yeah, I'm gonna go after her. Make sure she's not over there. Colleen, you good? So I feel like a weight. It's weird. My legs are giving up. This really feels old. And it's the first time in a long time where I have a sense of dread and fright. They're doing a spirit box session right now there, but we should definitely do that. I'm just gonna walk over there because I'm describing what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then
I walked it to the bridge.
How did it feel?
Well, it was heavy, and I had to have a little battle with him.
All right, let me go walk all the way down, and then I'll meet you there for the session. I'll be sure to be quiet. So, what am I experiencing? Oddly enough, outside of tingling sensation and a lot of like weird energy shifts in the body, I'm starting to feel a sense of dread as we finish the end of the bridge. It almost feels like this bridge takes us to a whole different realm. It's almost like coming from the old into the new. I don't know how to describe the feeling, but just very weighty. I feel weak. Like my body feels really weak, and yeah, I can't put my finger on it. I never thought I would experience this. We're a lighthearted show. We do believe in a lot of this stuff. The fact that we're experiencing firsthand gives me a sense of realism, that I never thought I would have. And yeah. So I'm at the end of the bridge. I'm gonna make my way back because I'm not feeling so hot. But we're just gonna walk right back and just make sure that we meet the halfway line where things are a little lighter.
With the investigation complete, Colleen proceeded to perform a ritual spiritual cleansing. Out of respect to Colleen's practices, it will not be shown. However, J-Rock describes the experience as a weight being lifted. The next day, the team makes one final observation of the location and share their thoughts.
Okay, we're getting back on.
Shoot.
All right. Right back into group view, folks. Let me slow the volume.
Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
No.
No, it's all good. All
My
good.
bad.
All right, so this is where the action really happened. We go into the actual bathhouse. And then going into the bathhouse, we all experienced something. Mr. Valentine had this issue with his face and his nose.
The spirit does that. They'll mess with your nose.
So
when they're
he thought it
around.
was his ring. He thought he lost his nose ring, right? Because he has I forgot what they call that, but it's like similar to what they use on bulls and stuff to move them around.
Septum.
Yeah, the septum piercing, right? So he goes in and he's complaining, and at the same time, I'm saying, I'm getting those sensations again. And you're standing on top, doing your session. Out of nowhere, I saw like, boom! I saw your shoulders drop, and then you kind of got woozy, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna fall into this bath thing, and then it had a smell of like I guess it's sulfur. That seeps out. This is old ancient stuff, right? So some people associate sulfur with evil. That's bullshit. It's a mineral like anything else. Pardon my French once again, but this happened, and then you guys did something amazing. You actually channeled your energy and created these vortexes almost as if on command, and you started directing water using your hands.
Yeah.
It was something amazing to see, something rarely captured on video, and we caught it clearly. We did get some EVPs, right? Some words coming out of the spirit box. I know that you ladies have your own footage that you're going to present on your show that captures also some other stuff, spirit orbs and things. What was your take at that point inside of the bathhouse?
Like I said, I felt when I got up to the stairs, I don't remember, like you saw me get like that. I don't remember feeling like, I felt like I took on the responsibility of the elder. Like she bestowed it. Like, this is what you're going to see. This is what this is meant. I kind of, it felt like I got thrown back in time in a little bit there for a moment. But the vortexes though.
Yes, that was fun.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. We all have our own life energy. It flows through every living thing, us, the world, elements.
So it's shared.
It's shared. When you have a energy, for example, us, and then you have the energy of the water, it's like magnets, they attract. So when you put two energies together, you cause that friction and it can start the vortex.
Sure.
Wow. How about you, Colin?
Oh, did I do that?
No, that's not you.
Oh, okay.
You good.
That's we got people actually that are watching the reels on Instagram, and they're watching you on Instagram, and they're just posting.
Look at my hair sticking up. What's that all about? Anyway, I've been wanting to do that with Sarah and do the body of moving some water and trying that energy vortexes in the water. And it was fun finally. And I'm glad that you guys got to witness it, because I even said to Sarah, we need to do that, see if we can do that. And I mean, look at your energy, look at my energy. We could do this. We finally got to do that.
And we finally got it captured.
Yes.
So there you go. That one's for posterity, folks.
Yeah.
So Frank, what was your stance on it?
Well, in the water part, I was grounded, and they left me upstairs guarding the equipment, so I couldn't see that. I see it now in the video, and it's amazing, you know. And but yeah, the place, you can feel the energy. You know, it was something new for me.
Mm-hmm.
And oh yeah, it's crazy. You have to be there
Yeah.
in order to. I cannot even say it. You know,
For
explain
you to
it.
experience it,
Yeah.
you have to be there, and you have to be
Yeah.
there with the right people.
Definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big believer in sometimes you are what you
Mhm.
attract,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
You,
Absolutely.
You ladies came in with the right energy, with the right intentions. And sometimes the spirits listen and they say, hey, like, sure,
Mhm.
we'll oblige you, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's what happened. Somebody commented and says, was there an Indian chanting? Did you
Mhm.
hear an Indian chanting?
I heard more of like a rhythmic drum.
That's what
Okay.
I heard.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
So somebody saw the video and
boom,
they kind of
boom.
hear
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, so somebody hearing the video and they're saying that they can hear stuff. So
Wow.
just so you guys know, what you're seeing is not redacted
Yeah.
for any audio. So that's the full original version of the
It's not
video.
edited.
So if you listen to the very beginning when Mr. Cornett is there, you're gonna hear some whispering. That's not any of us. You're gonna hear sometimes some audio glitches in between. That's not any of us. This is just random stuff. We just threw it there and said, hey,
Yeah.
you take it for what it is. This is distorted realities. We discuss the unknown. You discover your truth. You take it as is. But
Yeah.
go ahead, Frank.
I know that everything that we experienced there was magical and very spiritual because now
Same.
that we now that we're hearing the seeing the footage and hearing it, all those glitches that never happens when we do other stuff not related to.
But no,
to
actually it did.
spirits. Well,
It happened to us when we
in
did the
Pasadena.
intro at the cemetery in
Yeah.
Casadega.
Oh my gosh.
So I have that footage.
What did I tell you? I watched. I don't mean to yell. Oh
No,
my
you
gosh.
get it.
I watched your video on YouTube, and I was like, I'm hearing some talking, whispering in the background.
You hear cackling, like almost like a cackling, popping sound. And then every now and then it felt like an interference, like somebody was trying to speak over me.
Yep.
And I just left it there and I said, you know, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna leave it to a glitch, air quotes. But
Great video, by the way.
thank you.
Yes, you did a very good job with the.
It was
joint
actually our
recording.
our very first adventure.
Mhm.
We was actually more excited afterwards because like we did it, right? You know.
We know the feeling.
So somebody says, I need to know how to channel my energy.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'll go ahead and answer. Do a lot of meditating, light a candle, go in your soft, quiet space, and just focus on the candle. If you have trouble trying to meditate, just turn the lights off, sit comfortably, put your candle in front of you, and just look at the flame. See what it does. See what it says. And you could probably connect.
So I want to just segue that, right? Because it's
Mhm.
super important for people to understand the difference. Channeling your energy is
Oh.
very different from
Yeah.
telekinesis, moving objects, bending a fork with your mind.
Yeah.
Two different realms here, right? You're,
What I was saying was a lot of meditating can get you there.
Gotcha.
That's what I was
Right.
saying. Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is more of FYI for
Yeah,
people because
yeah.
people when they say channeling energy, they think it's all encompassing. Channeling your energy is a lot more about being self-aware, being self-aware with your inner self, having a conversation with your inner self, and having a way to center your focus on something.
A
This-
lot of, I'm
ahead.
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. A lot of people channel and they don't even realize it. People could channel doing your artwork. People can channel doing their podcasting, videoing. People can channel whatever you're into, basically. You're channeling.
So So, and I guess that's what I'm reading to. It's a different experience from uh, the stuff you see in movies. Not all of it is that grandiose. And we talk a lot about this because there is conspiracy theories about this stuff that we've had shared,
Yeah.
right? But this is completely different. This is really, I call it spiritual intonation. You know, you're inside of yourself speaking and using your divine self. Is that correct?
No, that's great.
That's a
That's
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what at the end of the what my assumption is of the world is that we're all human beings having a spiritual experience, or a spiritual being having a human experience.
There you go.
And we're supposed to figure out what is it we're supposed to do to move on to that next level. Dolores Claiborne, she's
Yes.
so I'm a big fan of her work, and she kind of really tells you this like clear as day. You're here to figure out what your spirit needs to do.
Canon.
I'm sorry,
Dolores
canon.
Okay.
Canon.
I knew
Sorry,
who you were
Claiborne.
talking about.
Sorry,
Because I saw
stand
it
cor-
right when you said it.
I stand
But I was
corrected.
like, wait, he
Thank
said
you.
Liz Claiborne. No, wait.
It's Dolores Cannon.
Yeah, look her up, y'all.
But she kind of really goes into this stuff.
She was very amazing.
Um,
Very. Oh my gosh, my face went boop. Right when I said
And then you have other people who play an integral role. Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard speaks about intonation between the mind and the heart. They call it brain and heart coherence, right?
Edward Casey.
Edward Casey's another one.
He's amazing.
So there's a lot of people who kind of shaped and created a framework for us. But what happens is we live in a society where the spirit is relegated to something else called religion. And it's not really based on necessarily on faith. There's two distinctions there. And I don't want to get into it because I don't want to pick a side or anything like that. It's really so that we can understand where this is coming from.
Right.
It's much deeper. It's much critical. It's super important. And I tell everybody, who are you? Ask yourself, who are you? And then ask your inner self, who are you? And you'll see two different questions and two different answers. Right?
It can't be said any more perfectly.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I hope this helps. And this is from personal experience, by the way. This is not something that is something I had to learn through the trials and tribulations of my personal path in life, right? Because again, there is a spiritual side to things. And when we neglect it, we become a husk. We just roaming the world, living a 9 to 5,
Yep.
paying the bills.
Mhm.
But when you find purpose and meaning, you give it structure. You start seeing the bigger picture. You know what the aura is?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's your divine self revealing itself, but not everybody gets to see it. Right?
Yeah. Right.
So I'm sorry, I got excited talking about this stuff because
No, it's great.
you know, it's
Absolutely.
but it's because you've demonstrated that in this adventure, right? Yes, it was a scary experience to some extent, but getting away from all that, I call it gobbledygook. We had a spiritual experience. You know, it's just masked as a ghostly thing because that's just the what we call the verbiage that we surround it, right? But when you strip it of all its nonsense and all its selling points, you just made contact with an entity
Yep.
that's outside of your wheelhouse. So, yeah. And I'm gonna pause there and see if there's anything you guys want to say.
Spirit, you know, as a human being, we don't do well alone. Spirit is conflicted between the living and the moving on. They are more in tune to want to make contact with you, to speak to you, to not only get a message delivered, but to make a connection. Because again, all we are just literally bodies. It's our soul that connects to other people. And then I kind of get a little upset when they get judged as a ghost. Yes, that verbiage to me is disgusting. I'm sorry. It's very good. Like you said, gooky. They're just another soul trying to look for a connection.
I believe that we're taught certain things so we don't reach to that potential. And because they don't want us to.
Frank?
No, I mean, I'm just in shock.
Go at it, Frank.
No, I'm with you guys.
Frank.
Yeah, I think we are spirit. This is just a case. Our body is just a case. When we die, we still alive. Pretty much, our soul doesn't die. And I think all we have to do is try to do our best here. Away when we leave, we get we are in a better place or something, or in a better level, in a better level.
Amen.
Amen.
So at this point, we're going to go to the final piece of the video where we share our thoughts and our experiences. By we, not the Women of Unearthly, because we're giving it from our perspective. When they put their video out, which we're working on, they're going to give us their perspective of the same experience. And it's good because you're looking at, side A, the novice person who's interested in exploring this and sharing it with the world, and side B, the experienced individual who has the qualities and the abilities to really give you a more thorough, sound explanation. All right. So
let me go to the chat real quick. Sure. Okay, so far what we got here is I know that spirit or entities can take energy from people. I think we said that
gotta
that
go
was
down.
Corrales. So there's Yvette, you never know what you bring when you take something. Yeah, we already said that. Corrales. I'm curious, you have ladies ever done an investigation at night? Know
No,
that at
we-
night things get crazier.
No, we already did that.
Yes, yeah. So I replied to her, and Yvette says, "Thank you." Julio says, "Thank you for the information about channeling the energy." Yvette says, "I heard a man chanting in the video." So wow. So
All right. So
Thank you, Bet.
we're gonna go to the
Good
last.
job, girl.
We're gonna go to the last part of the video where we're gonna express what the experience was like. Mr. Valentine gets to speak on what he thought it was like, and yeah, and we'll close out the video and then go into the final phases of our discussion and close out.
The team makes one final observation of the location and share their thoughts.
So it is 26 degrees here in Suwannee River. What you're coming to see is the majesty and nature at its most beautiful state. Little did we know that in the evening time, everything took a turn for the worse, right? The experiences we had kind of reshaped this particular piece of land into something a little bit more different.
More mystique.
Yeah, so I'm gonna flip over to the other side and let Frank take over and give you the Spanish version.
¿Cómo están, mi gente? ¿Todo bien aquí? Frank Waller, editor de Realities. Como decía mi amigo J-Rock, este es el área de Suwannee River. Estamos súper fríos aquí hoy. Puede ver el humo que sale de mi boca cuando hablo. Aquí atrás se encuentran los bath salts. Son unos baños calientes. Supuestamente los indígenas solían bañarse aquí. Y mucha gente venía de todas partes de Estados Unidos a venirse acá porque supuestamente esas aguas tenían un poder curativo. Nosotros estuvimos aquí durante el día, pero durante la noche también vimos que como que las cosas cambian. Así que por favor, no dejen de darle like, subscribe, para que vean todo el documental que hicimos en el área aquí de Suwannee. Thank you.
So here we are at the sulfur springs that are actually going down the steps. We find it to be a very beautiful location as we descend into the actual spring. What you notice is that the water is slightly clear. It's misty because it's very hot. It's not extremely hot, but it's hot. And essentially, we had some experiences here, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's very rare to find an old bathhouse or a spring that's used for healing and water that has quote unquote curative properties in its time. We all know that sulfur in large amounts is not good for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But we went down there in the evening and I found that the energy there was insane. And then there was the situation with the vortexes that were created by the Women of Unearthly, Sarah and Colleen. We did do a spirit box session, and I thought it was pretty amazing.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So why don't you let our Spanish audience know what's going on?
Bueno, mi gente, nos encontramos aquí, ya llegamos al área de los bathtubs, ¿verdad? Las aguas termales.
Ajá, termales.
Nos encontramos aquí en el área de las aguas termales. Supuestamente tenían poderes curativos, mucha gente venía ahí a ducharse, a bañarse en el agua. Se puede respirar un olor fuerte como a sulfuro, ¿verdad? El agua emite un poco de vapor porque el agua sale caliente del fondo de la tierra. Aquí estuvimos yesterday por la noche con las muchachas de Unearthly y ellas tienen unos dones muy maravillosos, el cual ellas sintieron como energía y presencia, crearon como unos vórtices en el agua, unas cosas bien interesantes, ya que estar ahí para verlo, sentirlo, difícil de describir, pero sí lo vimos y bien interesante, así que stay tuned for more, estén pendientes a mucho más, ¿ok? Gracias.
So this is where Sarah stood in the evening, where she recounted the most energy flow, and now being able to stand here and look at this and make my own assertion as to what this looks like. First of all, it's a thing of beauty. You could tell that there's some deep wells in it. I could see why the indigenous people would be inclined to come to something this beautiful and to heal, right? And even after the indigenous people, the folks who were sold the idea that this water had curative properties, it is really something to look at. Very beautiful, very intriguing. I'm still feeling some energy to this that's kind of odd, but I can only imagine what this used to look back in its time when it was actually built to function. But take a look, and I think you'll understand better as to why we do these trips and these adventures. Nature is truly something to behold.
Hola amigos, nos encontramos aquí en el Suwannee Thermal Waters over here. Aquí es donde los indígenas solían bañarse en estas aguas termales. Mucha gente venía de otras partes de Estados Unidos. Supuestamente esta agua tenía poderes curativos, algo así como la fuente de la juventud que buscaba Juan Ponce de León en aquellos tiempos, ¿no? So, esto es un área, tú puedes ver el humo, si quieres dar un shot aquí al agua para que veas el humo como sale de lo caliente que está esa agua. Bien interesante, muy bonito, por eso es que venimos a estos sitios, para que ustedes puedan disfrutar de lo que nosotros vemos. Se siente una paz, una tranquilidad, una energía buena en el área. Así que sigan viendo para observando, que vamos a tener más en el programa. Hey Dante, how you doing?
Doing good.
Thank you for coming here with us and helping us. You've been a great help. We appreciate it. You're part of the team, Mr. Valentine in the house. What up? And I just want to know your experience over here. How did you felt the energy here, and how did you like the trip so far?
Well, there was definitely a shift of energy when we first came in that I sort of noticed. I didn't feel it as heavy as J-Rock or Sarah or Colleen, but I definitely felt it in my nose. And as for the visuals, this place is beautiful. As someone who likes taking pictures and like recording, this is like probably one of the best spots to do that in, especially over here in this sulfur area. As you can see, it's just gorgeous. And overall, the experience was a 10 out of 10 in my book. Everyone did amazing.
Nice.
And I appreciate you guys for letting me tag along.
Hey, anytime.
Because, I'm always known for the 5 facts, but you know, I also do a little bit of this. So
Man, you're the man behind everything.
man behind the camera.
We really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, guys, so there you have it. It has been a remarkable experience. We would like to thank the Women of Unearthly for allowing us to collaborate with them. We learned a great deal. We experienced a whole lot. And for those of you who are interested, check out the Buzzsprout channel for the Women of Unearthly podcast. Also, check out their Instagram. It's Unearthly. Highly recommend it. Tons of good audio footage and now video footage coming soon. And yeah, Suwannee was an amazing trip.
Yeah,
and
it was.
I look forward to more collaborations. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's turn it over to Frankie. Sign off.
Hola mi gente, mucho gusto. Estamos aquí, Discovery Reality y las mujeres de Unearthly. Hicimos una colaboración, todo muy bueno. Le damos las gracias, thank you, por el apoyo y por haber estado colaborando con nosotros. Estén pendientes al podcast de ella que se llama Women of Unearthly, right? Y nada, estén con Discovery Reality. Stay tuned for more. Estén viendo para más. Gracias.
See you
To
soon.
be
Ciao.
continued.
Yeah.
And that concludes our adventure in the Suwannee River. Yes, I thought it was an amazing experience. In the video, we are sharing our thoughts and how fortunate we were to one, meet you ladies, two, experience what we experienced, three, get a chance to capture your abilities real time, and to be able to say this is evident that this is something real and that we shouldn't ignore it. And then there was the fun part. We got to do the research, we got to do the exploration, we got to see Suwannee in all its glory. It welcomed us and it invited us and it showed us that these things are very, very real.
Right. Right on.
I want a sidebar too, because Mr. Cornett, he was talking about how like it's not protected by any state regulations. And we told him, like with our one episode that we did at Scott Springs Park,
Oh, yeah.
we brought it up in an episode about how the park was. And like weeks later, they came in and cleaned the whole thing out and made it beautiful.
Oh,
I like to think that we did do it.
We did
We
that.
made a difference.
And then I told them, I said, we're
Nice.
going to try because this history right here, you can't make up. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You can't, it has to be preserved. If it can be. So we're trying. Hopefully they hear
so
it.
this is what I'm advocating, and I think the Women of Unearthly are too. For those of you who haven't gone to Suwannee and you're in Florida, or if you're just on vacation, go to Suwannee and you see what we're
Go
talking
check it
about.
out. Yeah.
It's definitely a place that should be considered not a preservation place, but a historical landmark.
beautiful place.
It is a beautiful place, rich in culture and history, and it's something that shouldn't be left to the people to decide in terms of where do we move forward with it. It should stay as is, as a reminder of the history that transpired there. Would that be?
That's perfect. Jay,
Sure.
perfect.
So I just want to bring somebody else's. We have a gentleman by the name of Michael Martinez, and he's we introduced him in season 1, and he's an avid horror movie maker. Go to joinhands.com for his latest movie. You'll find it quite remarkable. The kid has really leveled up and he's showing his muster. The other thing I want to mention is Believer, more arts to come. Kevin, we're still waiting on the AI to be finalized for Kevin for the anime. It's actually an anime, by the way. It's not
Nice.
even an animation. It's an anime, which is like Japanese art, right?
Yeah, Japanese art.
And it's gonna be great because I got the footage and it looks really good. So now we're gonna segue back to us. What an experience, right? I don't even know how to end this without saying, "Wow, what an experience!"
Sorry.
Let me tell you something. If you guys think what you guys saw on the footages were amazing, you needed to be there. There were a lot of things that happened that unfortunately we couldn't record it because at the time we didn't have camera or something close. But all the time we were doing like using the spirit box and stuff. Like where I was in the bridge with Sarah, and you can say it better with the spirit on the spirit box. That was
Well, I love the little sign off that they gave us.
Oh, good night.
Said, okay, I really appreciate letting us talk to you and you communicating back with us. It's time for us to leave. Please stay here. And on the spirit box, you hear leave.
Yeah, it said leave.
Like clear as day. I was like, okay, well, have a good night. And you're good night. That was time to go.
Definitely intelligent communication.
Absolutely.
And we were at the bridge too, and then we heard your name clearly, like Colleen on the spirit box. That was scary.
So yeah. So now we're gonna turn it to you, ladies. How can the people reach you guys and watch your amazing talents at work, or how can they listen to your podcast?
Frank, thank you.
I think
Slipping me the card. Yeah, I used to know the number by heart. So you can reach us on our channel on Instagram. That's kind of where we have all our links. Or you could reach our Gmail. You can email us at itsunearthlypodcast@gmail.com. Or you could give us a call or a text at 407-216-4343.
We can also, our Instagram name, it's Unearthly Podcast, Women of Unearthly. All the links for our Budsprout, YouTube, Instagram's all there. We also have this card, the QR code. You could scan it. It links automatically to our Instagram where you could find the links right there.
Perfect.
All right. So we're going to go around. We're going to close this off. Before we close it off, next week, last 2 episodes for season 2. So we have Mars Base Z part 3 on episode 11. We have the anime video that we're working on with Kevin, and some other goodies that we're going to talk about next week. We're so excited. And more importantly, we're so excited that the season's coming to an end because we have movies to make.
Yeah.
So this is going to be our very first venture into making movies. We do have the know-how. We do have the tools now. And now we just have to get the right people involved to participate. So roundtable discussion was great. Before we sign off, Frank, why don't you go first? Tell us what you think about the episode and what you think about the experience. And
I think this is one of the best episodes that we ever made. Thank you, both of y'all, for being with us and for the collab and everything. And we really appreciate that.
Yeah, same here.
And
well, we appreciate you and the gifts. And
you guys went overboard.
Amazing.
I'm eternally grateful. So thank you.
Nothing.
And like I said, you have to be there in order to experience it. Even the footage are beautiful, but you have to be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's when you feel that energy, that stuff is different. It's different. And thank you for your support, guys, and stay tuned for more. And desde el mundo real quick, gracias por el apoyo. Le di las gracias a las muchachas por la colaboración que nos dieron. Agradece mucho, thank you. Y pues sigan sintonizando para mejores videos. Gracias.
Pauline.
Yes, sir.
Your turn.
What am I saying?
So it's your turn to speak on the whole experience and say some final thoughts.
It was amazing.
You can look at this camera here.
It was amazing. It was amazing from the moment we got there to the moment we left, and the next day. I'm very gracious to meet, and I'm glad that I asked y'all to come and do this, and it was just a lot of fun. And I'm glad that we get to do this together and make friendships. And y'all check them out. Check their channel out. Story Realities. Awesome. Very talented men.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sarah?
Hi.
Your turn. Closing comments, thoughts?
I just would like to say, this was absolutely amazing. It couldn't have gone any better. Both parties. including spirit. So thank you.
Thank you.
It was, again, I mean, who networks in the cemetery and finds these people that you become really good friends with and can collab with and find all this evidence. So again, I really appreciate it. You guys got to check them out. Distorted Realities. I mean, they are the best. I'm just saying. But yeah, we got some things cooked up too. So follow soon. We've got some things in the making.
Yeah, we do.
And yeah, I gotta say, guys, thank you again so much. It was so much fun.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Sarah. All right, guys. So I guess it's my turn to close out the session. So, what's the key takeaway here? It takes a village, right? Distorted Realities was a brainchild of Frank Walls and J Rock doing a dare, right? But it just so happens that you realize you don't have all the skills, right? And you got to meet people, you got to connect, you got to share the same views and ideals and network and help each other out to really envision what you want to portray and help those envision their goals and opportunities as well, right? I am very fortunate and very blessed to have met the Women of Unearthly. More important, to have the experiences and more to come, by the way, because this is not just one-off, but more to come with the Women of Unearthly. And wow, what an experience. You know, I got to really take the opportunity to embrace what they bring to the table, experience everything from their viewpoint, and be able to relay it to you, the viewer, right? Very far and few in between do we get to do that. Because sometimes when you watch it on TV, you know there's a gimmick behind it. We just don't have the budget for it. Sorry, guys. But this was it. This was the real deal. And I think that to really cap it off, you need to be in tune with yourself. You need to understand that there's something out there that sometimes defies logic, and you have to throw all of that out the window and say, hey, you know, there's something more to this thing that we call life. And there's something out there that just can't quite be explained. And I think that when you venture off into those spaces with a good heart and good intentions, you find that it's the inner you talking. With that being said, we are done. J-Rock, Frank Walls, the Women of Unearthly, Sarah and Colleen, thank you so much. We are signing off. See you next week.
Take care of you.
Thank
What
you
he
to everybody
said.
in the
What he
chat.
said.
Welcome to Distorted Realities. Here are your hosts, J Rock and Frank Walls. Remember, discuss the unknown and discover the truth.